Every morning at 5:17 a.m., before the sun even thought about rising, Marcus Hill's alarm buzzed on the small wooden table beside his bed. He never hit snooze. Not because he loved mornings, but because life had trained him not to waste time wishing for comfort. Marcus lived in a modest apartment on the east side of Cleveland, Ohio. The paint on the walls was fading, the heater made strange knocking sounds in winter, and the kitchen window faced a brick wall instead of a view. Still, Marcus called it home. To him, home wasn't about space or beauty. It was about responsibility. At 34, Marcus worked 2 jobs. During the day, he was a city bus driver. At night, 3 days a week, he cleaned offices downtown. He wasn't chasing luxury. He was chasing stability, something his family had never really known. His mother, Elaine, had been sick for years. Diabetes, heart issues, endless medications. She lived with him now, moving slowly through the apartment with a walker, apologizing too often for being a burden. Marcus never let her finish that sentence. "You raised me," he'd say calmly. "Now it's my turn." Those words sounded simple, but they carried the weight of decades. Marcus hadn't always been this steady. In his early 20s, he had dreams that burned loud and bright. He wanted to start a business, travel, be someone people talked about. But life doesn't always follow ambition. Sometimes it tests character instead. When his father passed away suddenly, Marcus dropped out of community college to work full-time. Dreams were replaced with bills. Plans were replaced with survival. While his friends chased opportunities, Marcus learned how to stretch a paycheck and stay silent about exhaustion. On his bus route, Marcus saw all kinds of people. Office workers staring at their phones, students laughing too loudly, tired parents dragging kids to daycare. He learned stories without hearing words. He learned patience by waiting at red lights and empathy by watching people struggle quietly. One rainy afternoon, a young woman boarded his bus, holding a toddler and a grocery bag with a ripped handle. As the bus turned, the bag tore completely, sending apples and cans rolling across the floor. People sighed. Some looked away. Marcus stopped the bus. He got out of his seat, helped her pick up every item, and waited until she was settled. No announcement, no lecture. Just action. The woman's eyes filled with tears. "Thank you," she whispered. "No one ever waits." Marcus nodded. Everyone deserves a little time. That moment stayed with him longer than he expected. Weeks later, Marcus received a letter from the city transportation office. A passenger had written about him, about his kindness, his patience, his humanity. The letter wasn't a promotion or a bonus, it was just recognition, but it mattered. Around the same time, Elaine's health began to decline. Hospital visits became routine, nights grew longer. Marcus would sit beside her bed, holding her hand while machines hummed softly. "I wish I gave you more," Elaine once said, her voice thin. Marcus smiled gently. "You gave me everything that matters." Those nights taught him something important. Success wasn't about what you gained. It was about what you gave without keeping score. One evening, after finishing his cleaning shift, Marcus noticed a flyer taped to a community board near the bus station. It advertised free training for transit supervisors, night classes, flexible schedule. He stared at it for a long time. He almost walked away. Doubt is loud when you're tired. But something inside him, something built from years of showing up, pushed him forward. He signed up. The months that followed were brutal. Work, class, hospital visits, sleep in short fragments. But Marcus kept going. Not because it was easy, but because quitting had never saved him before. 2 years later, Marcus stood in a press shirt, shaking hands with the same manager who once only knew him as Driver 482. He was promoted to route supervisor. The pay wasn't life-changing, but the hours were better. The stress was different, but manageable. The first thing Marcus did was adjust his schedule so he could have breakfast with his mother every morning. Simple victories matter more now. On his first day as a supervisor, Marcus rode one of the buses quietly, sitting in the back. He watched a young driver nervously check mirrors. He saw passengers lost in their own worlds. When the bus stopped, an elderly man struggled to climb the steps. The driver stood up to help. Marcus smiled to himself. Life, he realized, doesn't always reward you with applause. Sometimes it rewards you by letting your values live on in others. Years later, after Elaine passed peacefully in her sleep, Marcus found an old note tucked inside her Bible. It read, "My son doesn't chase greatness. He lives it quietly." Marcus folded the note carefully and placed it in his wallet. He still wakes up early, still works hard, still helps without expecting thanks. Because he learned something most people never do. A meaningful life isn't built in big moments. It's built in ordinary days, lived with extraordinary heart.